I'm gonna be honest. I'm lost. I want to talk about one of my favorite TV shows ever, Better Call Saul, ever since my first video has dropped. It's been on my list of things to make videos on ever since then. But it felt wrong to make a video on Better Call Saul when I haven't made a video on Breaking Bad. Okay, shut the fuck. So yeah, today I'm kind of just gonna talk about my thoughts and experience with Breaking Bad, which as you may know, may be a bit controversial. But wait, I do need to say, I love Breaking Bad. I think it's a great, I think it's a good show. There's a ton of great characters, and then there's the women. More on them later. But yeah, there's a ton of great characters, a solid premise, and what better way to tie that all up than with the dad from Malcolm in the Middle. There's a ton of lovable characters in the story, but if I talked about all of them, this video would be ages long. And some of them I'll cover in the Better Call Saul video, so for now let's just talk about the plot. I absolutely love the plot of this show. From the get-go, it's already a bit hectic, but there's nothing too insane about a guy with the dye disease just wanting to make some money for his family by selling drugs. But holy hell, this show effortlessly evolves to become something so complex. We got a fucking cartel, the DEA, and even a Spanish KFC. And they all become really big players as the story goes on. I'm a sucker for stories that start off fairly simple and evolve into something insanely complex, and Breaking Bad is a prime example of that. But moving on, I kinda want to mention my favorite character, Jesse. This man did not go in the way I expected him to. Not gonna lie, Jesse's kind of an NPC white gangster trash character model for like basically the whole first season. He was enjoyable, but I didn't quite recognize him as a complex character like Walt yet. But then something amazing happened. Season 2, episode 6, the episode where Jesse's in the crack house and is taking care of the ugly ass ginger baby bitch. I don't know what the writers were thinking, but I imagine it must have been something like, guys, Vince, Peter, we didn't kill off Jesse in season 1. And he's basically been acting like a fucking goon in a Lego game for the past 5 episodes. What do? Let's make him an actual character. Fucking genius! Jesse's humanity, which often conflicts with his profession, has a lot of insane consequences for him. But they continuously develop him into this very layered character that's always evolving in motive, especially so in the later seasons. Whenever he's on screen, you literally can't help but wonder where the show will take him next. Perhaps the only downside to his character is that his relationship with Walt, while it's great, it never really went where I wanted to go, if you know what I'm saying. Another character I really like is Hank. When I first saw Hank, his first few words and his position as a brother-in-law in the series, I assumed he'd kind of be like the gag character that I wouldn't want to be around if I valued my own life. Luckily, he turned out to be so much more. He's one of the few characters in the show who actually suffers from mental ailments from all the insanity happening in the series. And he's a very heartfelt character that you root for more and more, even in his flaws. Which makes his ultimate demise probably the most heartbreaking moment in the series for me. Now at this point you're probably confused, cause Randers, I thought this video was about criticizing Breaking Bad. And while I'm getting there, I really do want to reiterate that I love this show. And I think it's better than most TV out there, especially these days. I just do have a few problems with it, which I guess we can start with the female characters. Don't get me wrong, I'm no self-proclaimed Twitter feminist or anything, but I'll be honest. Watching Breaking Bad made me feel bad for women for how shitty their characters are being written. Let's start with Marie, who's fairly easy to pick apart. I get it, she's a side character, but like holy hell, she's so fucking annoying. Every time she's on screen, I'm so annoyed, and I feel like a lot of that is actually intentional. But even then, it often went beyond to the point where it actually hindered my enjoyment of the episode she was in. She had this weird plot where she just randomly decided to start stealing things, then it was just never brought up again. Then there was also the fucking open house, I think it was like in season 2 or something. I really don't know when it comes to Marie. Like, I feel like if she was gone for the show, genuinely not a lot would change, and I feel like the show might have actually benefited from it. Then there's Skylar, and I know people are ready to spam dislike this video by now, but as a person, I actually think Skylar's one of the most sane people in the show. At least for some parts. She honestly was pretty fun to watch in the earlier seasons, as she's slowly losing trust in Walt as any spouse would when he's doing the things he does. And she becomes sort of a foil for him, which is kind of cool to see at first, but then that's literally all she's ever there for. And it does suck, because Skylar is genuinely going through a lot of struggles on her own, and I felt she could have been a compelling character had the writers decided to explore more of her own psyche, but instead they just settled on keeping her as a foil to the protagonist and nothing more than that. It feels like all of her struggles and actions exist only to contrast Walt, and not because she's her own character. And I don't know, maybe that's just how I see it and nobody else does, but I've never seen anyone point it out, so I'm just really surprised. Now for my final problem, I say with air quotes. Yes, I literally did the air quotes with my fingers while saying it. I said it in air quotes because honestly this isn't really much of a big problem, but more of a personal thing for me, and of course it has to do with Walter White. Walter White is probably one of, if not the greatest character in all of television. He's a Shakespearean tragedy ran at almost a modern best, but there are almost times where I feel him being a Shakespearean tragedy was also his own downfall. Let me explain. This pertains mostly to the earlier seasons, but Walt, as he starts cooking it up with Jesse and feeling the high of this life, he will randomly begin to start acting out of character, which I also put in air quotes because it's not really out of character. These are just developmental moments for him. Whether it's him feeling more confident around Skylar to get it on,
some set funnels, some head with a thermometer,
telling Gretchen the words he wanted to tell her the most.
Fuck you.
Hell, there was a time where he tried making Walt Jr. a big boy, but he realized his son's kind of a bitch. All these scenes are kind of like the black sheep in their own episode, at least to me. And I understand the sentiment of wanting these big character moments, and they'd honestly work if Walt didn't just go back to being a bitch right after those scenes. I kid you not, he'll have these badass moments, but for the life of him will not keep the same energy. And that just makes me really confused. I get that it shows he's building up to his new Heisenberg persona, but not only did it just feel super inconsistent to me with how they did it, it also just felt super on the nose with no nuance whatsoever. Luckily, I'd say season 3 and onward about damn near get rid of this issue entirely, because by then, Walter's already developed enough that he can't even really have these character flipping moments. But I'd say that he never even needed them in the first place. This is honestly just a personal thing though, so I don't really see it as a flaw or detriment to the whole show, so if you disagree here, I totally get it. It just doesn't work for me personally. But that's it. Those couple things are my only problems with Breaking Bad. I really just wanted an excuse to talk about the show, because as I've said, I actually love it a lot. It's definitely not one of my favorite shows, especially when I think its prequel show is much better, but it's still a fun time. And if you've never watched it, 1, I'm not sure why you watched this whole video, but thanks. 2, definitely give it a shot. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe or you'll end up like Jane and Andrea. And comment below what other kind of things do you want me to cover? Whether it's about movies, TV, games, or even life itself, I'll do anything. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next one.